Chris Loder.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a pleasure to follow my honourable friend and neighbour from South Dorset in this debate. I rise to speak in support of this bill because we can now look forward, Madam Deputy Speaker, to becoming an independent coastal state. This fisheries bill gets us out of the EU common fisheries policy, one that has constrained the fishermen and betrayed the fishermen of the United Kingdom for 40 years will finally be no more. And the same, I'm afraid, is true to say of the Fishery Limits Act from 1976, a bill from the then Labour government which put the anchors down on our fleet of British boats in favour of EU-registered fishing vessels. Our fishermen have looked on in despair for decades at this gross injustice, Madam Deputy Speaker, resulting in the number of working fishermen in the UK falling by 40% since the mid-1990s. The same despair that I and my honourable friends from along the south coast experienced in October, when the second largest trawler in the world, the Margiris, was trawling our coastline. This 465-foot floating fish factory dwarfs our own fishing vessels. It is capable of catching 250 tonnes of fish a day, in stark contrast to West Bay, in my constituency, which lands 250 tonnes a year. This bill removes the automatic fishing rights of foreign vessels and super trawlers to our waters, and it is this Conservative government that will be able to return to our fishermen their fair quotas, which they rightly deserve, and should never allow these super trawlers into UK waters again, let alone into marine protected areas. Now, I should like to say, in response to the SNP's contribution a little bit earlier, forgive me, Madam Deputy Speaker, but it all smells a little bit fishy to me. And the reason, I'm afraid, is because this reasoned amendment is a damp squid. Why? Well, it is very simple and straightforward. Not only do more than 92% of the fishermen in Scotland believe we should leave the EU and want to be out of the common fisheries policy, also, Madam Deputy Speaker, that second largest trawler in the world, where is it right now? It is off the coast of Scotland, due east of Aberdeen, trawling thousands of tonnes of fish from Scottish seas and from their fishermen. So I regret to say, Madam Deputy Speaker, I feel the SNP is out of touch with the fishing community, and I'm afraid on this point is like a fish out of water when it comes to this bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would just like to say, in recent months, coronavirus has demonstrated the strength of local producers to step up and feed local communities when it was needed most, and no more so than in West Dorset. But people are demanding more. They want to know where their food and their fish is coming from, and leaving the common fisheries policy will enable our island nation to put more fish on British tables, good for our health, good for our economy, and good for our coastal fishing towns. And in coastal constituencies, such as mine in West Dorset, and indeed my colleague in South Dorset, the small fishing communities of Margiris and West Bay, home to just 24 fishing vessels, will greatly benefit from this bill. It will restore to them and to our fishing communities around the country not only the level of prosperity of times past, but even more in the future to come. Hook, line and sinker.